Hey, what's up, guys? Nick Major here, APTV Correspondent, and I recently met up with Pierre and Chuck from Simple Plan to chat about their brand new album, Taking One for the Team. So stay tuned to see what they had to say about the album and lots more. And be sure to pick up a copy of Taking One for the Team. It is available February 19th. It has been half a decade since your last CD came out.
Please don't call it half a decade.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Like a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We had an EP in between, come on.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, people always ask, like, so why'd you guys take such a long break between albums? And it's, we really don't intend to, and that's not part of the plan.
Well, I wish we had taken a break.
Yeah, I need a break, to be honest. It's not like we've taken a break. It's just, I think that with the years, you know, we feel that as a band, we got to push ourselves and raise the bar every time, and the bar has become higher and higher, you know, and I think we're perfectionists. We're not satisfied with the first idea we have, and as you can tell, since it's long between albums, we want it to be great. So it's kind of like it's a vicious cycle that it has to be great because it's been a long time, and therefore it takes longer, therefore it has to be better.
One thing I noticed was right when it started, I was like, oh, cool, this is just like the Simple Plan that I know and love. Because I was saying to Chuck earlier that when I had first heard, because I love all the stuff that you guys have released, I love the different sound that some of the stuff has. Like, I Don't Want to Go to Bed, I was stoked when that came out because it's so fun and poppy.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that there was like a mixed reaction from fans. They were like, oh, is this the new direction that they're going?
Yeah.
But when I put it on, I was like, oh no, that's still the old Simple Plan that I know and love.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole point. You know, we always like to challenge ourselves and do something different and do something that's kind of a curveball and freak people out a little bit. I think we've done that a lot in our careers. You know, but it's important for us to have that brand sound that we began with and that we enjoy. You know, I mean, I'm a 36-year-old guy, and I still get excited about hearing a really good pop punk record. You know what I mean? It's part of who we are and who we'll always be. And yeah, even though we enjoy doing stuff like I Don't Want to Go to Bed, that's really different and poppy, we still want people to know that we're still the band that we started out
being. Like, we're still like really attached to that world and that scene. Like, we still listen to the new bands that come out, and we still enjoy it. And I think that's when you hear this record, I think that like we're trying to make a statement that it's still relevant and it still matters, and this kind of music is still important and still has a place, you know, while at the same time not being stuck in the past and not
pigeonholing ourselves into doing the same thing over and over again. You know, because I think there's another side of us too as artists that I've been playing music. We've been playing music since we were like 14. That's like 20 years ago. So I think it's fun for us to sort of like try something different, you know, and kind of challenge ourselves to do something that we thought maybe 20 years ago we'd never be able to do. You know?
Yeah, I think in some weird ways, maybe that's why the record took so long, is that we had to figure out what we wanted to do in 2016, what kind of album Simple Plan had to make or was supposed to make, you know, and that took a minute, like, you know, like and I feel now with this record, we really sort of hit like the right combination. It's like, you know, we want to stay true to who we are, and we want to put out songs that, you know, our old school fans are going to love, and we also kind of embrace our past, and in some ways also just look to the future and try different things, and not be sort of stuck in that era and be able to only do this. So I think it was difficult to grasp exactly how to achieve that, and now
took a while to figure out.
and now we have the record. I feel
5
like
years later.
Hopefully, I feel we did it. You know, and I think we're in a good spot.
And I gotta ask, for Boom, was that music video? Do you guys shoot a lot of the APMAs?
We did.
Because I noticed that all the people were all dressed up, and it was a bunch of bands from the APMAs.
Totally. We took the opportunity since everybody was there, and
or we used the AP Awards.
Yeah,
it depends how you look at it.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're like, we don't want to go. Wait a second. Boom. Let's go to the APMAs, guys.
Exactly. So it worked out great, and a lot of the bands obviously on Warped Tour last year are, you know, friends of ours, people that some of them we just met, and yeah, I think it was about having a party, and, you know, I think it's always fun for fans to see, like, if you're a fan of Black Veil Brides or Paris or whatever, and see Simple Plan with those guys. It's kind of, or, you know, having kids seeing all the bands that they like together, I think is always exciting. You know, I remember when I was younger, or even when I see them now, when I see bands collaborate, I think it's cool, you know. So
I think it was cool to bridge the gap also between kind of two generations.
Yeah, exactly.
Of pop punk band and sort of Warped Tour AP bands, you know. You know, you got Newfound Glory, you got us, and then all-time low, which are kind of like in
the
between,
middle,
in the middle, and then you get all this generation of up-and-coming bands that are doing awesome and are exciting and that we love to watch, and it was just kind of cool to have the whole world kind of come together and do something cool. And the video, like, the fans are loving it, and they were stoked to see all their favorite bands. In it,
you read the comments. And
dude, I read it. Yeah,
this.
Like, at 126, it's the guy from Silverstein. Or, like, it was kind of like, that's rad. Like, that they know this, and it made it fun. It makes it more exciting. We love having cameos and videos and all that, and on the album, of course.
Yeah, speaking of like cameos on the album and the Warped Tour artist, Juliette Sims was on Warped Tour.
Yes.
And she's in your song, I Dream About You.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet her on Warped Tour? Was this song recorded beforehand?
No, I saw her, but we never actually met. And this song was recorded a while back, and until recently, she wasn't even on the song. But just Chuck and I wrote that song a while ago, and we always felt like it would be really cool to have a cool girl singer on it, because it's a love song about, I guess myself saying how, like, you may not realize it, but I'm crazy about you and I dream about you. And the other way, we've always thought that the second verse, if it was sang by a girl, it'd be cool to have that other side of it, So we always thought, like, it would be cool, and never really kind of did it. And then a couple of months ago, we were like, you know what, this girl, Juliette Sims, her voice is awesome. She's really cool. She's got a great thing going. Let's see if she's interested in doing it, And we shot her an email, and she was, like, super excited about doing it. And I think that, to me, I always liked the song. I always thought it was great and epic, but I think when she sang and I heard it back, I was like, okay, now it's really special. Now it's a little more emotional, and it just takes it another notch.
It gives it two perspectives.
Exactly,
it makes it more of like a story, and you're the back and forth and everything, and it makes it like, it adds like a whole new dimension to it, which I think is rad.
And you guys, how have you managed to keep the same lineup after your entire careers? Because it seems like bands come and go, they go on hiatus,
We've invested half of our profits into therapy. No, we actually, we're really good at solving our issues. I think because when the band first started, we're all pretty hard-headed guys that, we're stubborn people. Strong opinions. And at the beginning of the band, there was a lot of fighting going on. And, like, I remember Jeff quitting the band like 3 times before we even did our first show.
Before we got signed, yeah.
Yeah, and so we got used to, like, being like, okay, whoa, everyone sit down. Let's talk this through, and we just talk it through. And with the years, I would say that it's gotten us closer. I feel like our relationship was, I remember even there was a time when David was a little more segregated in some ways, on his own sort of, he was the one kind of doing it. But now I think we're tighter than ever. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, and obviously lots of success, but there's been some tough times. And I think that with those times and those difficult struggles we've gone through, I think the band has become stronger, and our friendship is stronger than it was when we first started. And I don't know really how or why, we're not one of those bands where we're missing 2 from the original lineup, and we did a 1-year hiatus because we couldn't stand each other. I think it's, I
think part of the reason is, like, me and Pierre were in a band. We started out our first band, we were 13 years old, and at around 16, 17, we got into a huge fight, and we broke up. Well, he kicked me out, which gigantic mistake. But anyways, he did, and I guess, like, maybe in some ways, like, for me at least, from a band member, like, being in the band, I realized that something really precious that means a lot to you can be taken away if you don't find a way to make it work. And I love music. That was my passion. It really, literally, I'm not trying to be all emotional, but it really broke my heart that I couldn't do what I loved anymore. And I think that when you form a band, when we reformed and got back together like a year and a half later, I realized that something really precious can be taken away. So you sort of learn how to be less selfish and to be a little more like a team player, taking one for the team, which kind of ties up with our album.
Exactly, literally.
And it just kind of felt like, now I think that everybody realizes that, like, you got to work at it and you got to make an effort. And I just feel like I always get bummed when I see bands that are doing so well and that have everything in the world they've been chasing and dreaming for, and they can't figure it out how to make it work, and it's just the saddest thing. And I think I'm so blessed and so grateful that we were able to find, like a way to make it work. And I think the big thing too is that we still enjoy it. That's the big thing. Is sometimes maybe some bands they start to not really want to play the style of music that they're known for, or they start to feel like they need to be different, or they don't like to go on tour anymore. Like, we still truly enjoy being in the band. I love being Chuck from Simple Plan, and I want that to keep going for a long time, you know?
Now you guys have a great record coming out that I'm sure everyone is going to love. You guys worked with Howard Benson on it. It's going to be a good time. Whenever his name gets dropped, everyone goes, oh, he's the My Chemical Romance guy.
Yeah.
So
that was actually kind of a big deal for us too. Like, you know, you look at a producer's, you know, his background, what he's done, and two of the big records for us that kind of convinced us that we should go with Howard was All American Rejects, Move Along, and My Chemical Romance, you know? So they're two good records that we love the sound of, and you know, obviously he's got some big records like Hoobastank, The Reason.
We're kind of like, we're not very loyal when it comes to producers.
You've never gone to the same one, have you?
No, it's
always
all
had a
like
new
one
producer.
night stands.
One night stands. That's it.
You guys are sluts.
Yeah,
totally.
we are.
That was very
completely
out there. I'm sorry, everybody.
Who's the next producer that wants to have sex with us?
But our whole thing is like, we always look at it as like as a chance to like work with some people that made like iconic albums and made important work, and it's like it's always cool to see how different people work and how they approach it. So like for us, it's basically it was just cool to see his process and everything, and just like we did with the 4 other ones that we, you know.
And I'm sure it'll always kind of help bring a somewhat unique sounds to each album. Well, that's good. It turned out beautifully, I think. I'm really excited because while it was so much of the core Simple Plan, there's such good stuff that's going to be unexpected that I think a lot of people are going to love.
Cool.
And that drops February 19th.
February 19th.
Yes.
Taking one for the team.
Yep.
All right, Pierre and Chuck. Thank you guys for chatting so much.
thank
I
you.
enjoyed it. I loved hearing about
Thank you
the
so
album.
much, man.
And good luck.
Awesome.